Hey, so today we're going to be painting my Cawdor crew. I've painted 4 models, but one of these models I designed. The other 3 are made by Games Workshop. Can you figure out which one is which? It might be obvious for those who are familiar with the model kit, but this is the one I designed. And I'm really happy on how well these blend together. So if you want this model, it'll be free on my Patreon to download. Let's show you how I did it.
There are different ways to build a model. And you can build a model exactly how it says in the instructions, or you can get some bits from a different kit and just kit dash them directly into it. For this example, I'm using a 3D printed bit. I designed in Illustrator and Tinkercad. The website is linked down below, and you can use that right in your browser. And Sculpt Fab is another one I really like. And you can basically just do whatever you want with like a 3D printed file between those 3 or 4 programs, depending on what you're using. I always like to try something new and add my own flavor to something. So having a great sword on this guy really sets him apart.
A couple weeks ago, I made this guy, and his torso looked almost identical to one of these guys. Square-edged, trimmed cover. He just doesn't have the rope. Wait, does he have a rope? I never noticed that detail. He does have a rope. I'll probably make that more obvious with like a noose and just kind of give him a more idyllic style head. I'm going to be designing this with Creative Commons free STLs, so you'll be able to download the mini I design on Patreon. So I'm gonna just power through my design process here, and then we'll see how it looks at the end. I 3D printed the model, and as I was walking over to my desk, I was being super careful with it, and I totally dropped it on the floor. So his halberd gun, it fell off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use one of the guns from the kit. To be honest, like, I'm really happy with how this guy looks. He's proper scale. He has a very different pose than all the other ones, so that to me just kind of accentuates why 3D printing and making your own models can be such a great thing.
I rarely go into a painting project with an end goal in mind. So typically the way I find a goal is kind of hitting things with like a broad stroke. So accentuating the details by doing the white dry brush kind of helps you understand the model a lot better, to establishing common like colors like leather and parchment and cloth. Doing those basic colors kind of help you get into the mindset of what the tone of the model is, as well as getting you get to see the individual details as you paint them, and learn the models. Okay, so I've used my favorite color, green, and I've established the leather, and now I'm just doing a dip wash to kind of darken everything, and then I just established the cloth again. At this point, I didn't really have a good, clear goal, like I was saying. A lot of that has to do with me not knowing the model yet. When I design my own 3D model, I get to see the individual details that I put onto it, and that gives me a head start when I get into the painting phase. These GW models I don't know very well because I didn't design them, and so it takes some like kind of feeling around to really like understand like what's going on. So you just kind of want to work your way from doing like bigger like details, and then work your way down into the smaller things. Rebase coating all the weapons black, just kind of unify certain shapes, because it's kind of in the ugly phase right now when you you get distracted with the trees and you can't see the forest anymore. So kind of unifying certain objects that are alike and making them disappear helps you see the details that you haven't seen yet. And because of that, I kind of noticed that some cloth is above the other, so it's good to kind of differentiate between the two different cloth styles. And I was able to see that much better, that the weapons weren't white and kind of distracting my eye from certain details. So after that, I was able to kind of pick out the candles and really see what those look like. And then I established the light source with a yellow ink, giving each guy kind of a special weapon. I don't know, I spent time modeling this weapon, so I thought accentuating it with some red to kind of contrast the green would be a good idea, since I spent all that time on it. And then I highlighted that red with an orange, and I highlighted it again with a yellow. And then I did that same orange around all the candle rims to kind of make it look like it's glowing a little bit more. And then I kind of did the same thing with a couple of the other weapons. Once I realized this is something I liked and I want to kind of make it a theme of the whole thing rather than an accent for one character. This guy didn't have a great looking weapon, so instead I used it on his mask, kind of give him a little more eye-catching. And then once I did it on his mask, I decided I wanted to do it on the other guy, and I brought it over to the next one and kind of made it a theme with all the other guys. They like to have some red accents on them. Now I'm establishing some rust and doing the last metal dry brush on all the black surfaces. And at the very end, I sponge on some yellow ink to add some object source lighting. It doesn't go on evenly, which kind of suggests to me that it's flickering. I don't know how well that translates, but that was the basic idea for that. So I just want to say thanks again for all you guys' support and subscribing and sharing and visiting the Patreon. I did a couple live streams and I really enjoyed talking and meeting a bunch of people, but I do have a Discord now. So the first wave of people watch this video have an opportunity to join it. So feel free to click the description and join the Discord server so we can kind of meet and hang out. I really like to see what you guys do, and that's my favorite part of this whole situation. And all right, so last thing is this model will be free to download on my Patreon. The link is also in the description if you want to support the channel. It's only $2 a month. It helps me buy some foam core at the end of the week. So, all right, have a good one.